Hey guys, how are we? Well, here in Wongamat, I think it's called, and a little bit too late in the morning to be shooting a video. It's so hot in the sun. It's incredible. It's not too bad in the breeze, but yeah, and the sun is just way too hot. So yeah, my wife and I walked to central Pattaya last night, and my wife didn't want to stay there too long, so I didn't get to shoot a video, unfortunately. So maybe another night this week I'll be able to get down there and show you. But I can tell you what, from what I saw, I think you want to be fairly switched on, I think. How do you put this? I think you want to be fairly switched on type of person to be hanging around Pattaya without wanting to sound too dramatic or not quite sure how to put it. I think the old inscription on the Temple of Apollo was know thyself, temet nous. So I think you'd want to know yourself, know your weaknesses. I think if you have a sort of an addictive sort of personality, if you've got that sort of addictive element to your life, I think you'd want to be fairly cautious about being in Pattaya or around those sorts of areas, because I think the propensity to get to a point of excess here, I think it would be pretty easy, and I'm not sure that I would want to be in that sort of predicament. So you want to know your weaknesses, you want to know what you're capable of, and you want to know that you've got to really manage your weaknesses. I mean, it's like a lot of people say, "Oh, you speak so clearly." Well, the reason why I speak so clearly is because I'm partly deaf, and I had to work very hard at learning how to pronounce vowels and consonants, and just have to work extremely hard to learn how to pronounce things, because I can't hear a lot of the finer intricacies of pronunciation. So I've had to work very, very hard at that, and so my weakness has become my strength, which is strange. You hear people talk about that, but you never quite understand it. I remember walking through like a flea market with my wife. We first sort of got married, and maybe before we got married, and so anyway, my wife is screaming at the top of her lungs, and everyone sort of stopped and was turning around looking at me, and I was completely oblivious to it, because with a lot of background noise, I can't really pick up a lot of those sounds. So everything just bleeds into one, and I think particularly when I was growing up, people thought I was an idiot, but I've actually got a much, not that I want to talk it up, but a lot higher above average IQ, but yeah, and that's purely because I really didn't hear people, couldn't understand what they were saying. So if you see me in person, you'll often note that I am often looking at people's lips, because I'm trying to get a feel for what they're saying, and it's actually made me pretty good with people who aren't fluent in English because I can sort of get the gist of what they're saying very quickly because I've had to learn how to adapt. So, not that I want to talk about me, but I'm just saying you really want to know your weaknesses in regards to life in general. I think you want to know what your strengths are, you want to know what your weaknesses are, and you want to own up to them. And I do know, and I've had friends in the past that have got addictive personalities, and they are just in the wrong company, in the wrong circumstances, the wrong situation. They find themselves in a real spot of bother, and you want to be very, very cautious, and that's why you want to choose your friends very, very well, and be very sort of aware of who you're hanging with and what environment you're in, because I think, you know, even walking through Pattaya last night, you know, I think it's a sensitive topic, and I'm not trying to put anyone down, but I think if you sort of had this propensity to think that a lot of these women in these bars and that sort of stuff were actually interested in you, I think you could come unstuck pretty quickly, and you'd lose a lot of dough. And yeah, I know we were walking past the bars, and my wife often walks behind me, and that's just a cultural thing. So these women thought that I was single, and they're screaming out to me, and you know, I sort of grabbed my wife and made her hold my hand, but but I think if you as I said, I'm not trying to put anyone down. I'm just Pattaya is a great place. Look, it's really nice, and particularly North Pattaya, Wongamat, where we're at. It's actually quite pleasant. You could have a good lifestyle here, particularly because we do a lot of work online. I build and develop websites and write articles and trade cryptocurrencies. My wife does a lot of trading of crypto online, and you know, it's just one of those things where you'll learn to sort of survive and adapt wherever you are. And I know one of the guys sent me a message yesterday saying, hey, can you help me learn to earn money online? And I can shoot some videos around that, because it's actually not that hard. It will take a little while though, and particularly for legitimate legitimate online stuff, it does take a little while, but it can be done. It's not that hard. But I think there's a lot of scams. I had a friend of mine who wanted to learn how to earn money online, and I said, well, you need to get onto some affiliate programs and, you know, create content and that sort of stuff. Have a look, it's like a little village here. And anyway, so he got caught up, you know, 150 odd euros in some scam where you buy product and then you resell it, or these people resell it for you, some crap like that, I don't know. But he lost 150 bucks. So there you go, some chickens. I don't know if you can hear them crowing. I tell you what, if I was living right here, I think there would be some roast chicken for dinner tonight. I wouldn't be putting up with that cockadoodle doing 5 a.m. in the morning, 4 a.m. in the morning. That just wouldn't be happening. So yeah, just be cautious of that, and know yourself, know your weaknesses. If you have a propensity to drink a lot of alcohol and fall prey to lewd women, then I think you'd want to steer clear of Pattaya. I think there's other parts around Thailand that would probably be better for you. So anyway, just my thoughts, just what I sort of picked up when we went for a bit of a stroll yesterday. And yeah, know yourself, because your weaknesses can become your strengths, as I sort of said before. You know, you've just got to know them and own them. And I think that's particularly for some of us guys in the West. We want to be so sort of macho and have our crap together that we actually lose that sense of ownership of some of the weaknesses. So just keep that in mind. As I said, I'm not trying to put anyone down. I'm just trying to sort of convey a bit of a warning. If you do come here and you find yourself in those sort of situations, then choose your environment and your friends well, because I think there's a great propensity to lose a lot while you're here. And you know, a friend of mine says, have you seen a lot of old white men with beautiful young Thai women who have penises? So, and I look, there has been, there's some strange stuff here, I will say that. But I think in this sort of area where we're at, it's a bit more upmarket, it's away from the weird crap. But, and I'm assuming that if you're watching this channel, you're a pretty switched on type of person, and, you know, having looked at the stats and that sort of stuff of who's watching the channel, most of you are pretty switched on and older, so you kind of got your crap together. But I tell you what, yeah, you come to Thailand, you get caught in the wrong situation, it could be pretty costly. So anyway, just wanted to sort of make that known to you, to actually think through those circumstances and just be very cautious if you are coming here. Choose your friends wisely, because you could be led astray very easily. And then, you know, I think from stuff that I've heard and learned of in the past, guys, particularly when they're lonely, have a propensity to mistake, like a, how would you put this politely? Just don't mistake some sort of financial transaction as love, put it that way. So yeah, if you are here, just know yourself and know that if you've got weaknesses in that area, just be very cautious. But did see on geopolitical news that Australia's up in arms because the Royal Australian Air Force had a run-in with a Chinese J-16 fighter jet, who sort of showered them with aluminium shavings, and some of it went into the engine of the plane and all sorts of shenanigans. I think, look, I've been saying this for a while, and I'm pretty convinced of it. As of this moment, we're already in World War III. I'm just waiting for it to break out with China, and if China's going to do stuff like that, then you know, there's going to be a point where, you know, an accident's going to happen, and you know, it's just sort of gets out of control at that point. So be very sort of cautious with that sort of thing, because that's how wars begin. So as I said, we're already in World War III. I'm pretty convinced of it. The next thing that comes is an economic and financial collapse. I think we're in the midst of that at the moment. We're in the early throes of it. And, you know, I think, you know, there's some really good places to put your money and sort of protect yourself, but you want to be very cautious of that at this point in time. So Anyway, guys, going to leave that there. Hope you're well. I might shoot some videos on how to earn online and that sort of stuff, but anyway, let me know if that's something that you guys are interested in. Alright guys, if you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, and do that, and join the discussion on Facebook. Alright guys, it's the Overseas Exiles.